Good morning, students. Welcome back to your online English class. In today's class, we shall start with chapter number 7 of your textbook, Glimpses of India, that is further divided into 3 parts. However, today we shall start with part number 1, A Baker from Goa, written by Lucio Rodriguez. Before we start, it is for your general information that Goa happened to be a colony of Portuguese. And that's how Portuguese culture, trend, their taste and preferences could be seen deeply enrooted in Goan civilization. So this lesson is just a pen portrait of a traditional Goan village baker who still has an important place in Goan culture. A baker is the one who is into the art of making bread and the stuffs related to it. For your convenience, I have simplified the entire lesson by dividing it into parts and subparts. Part number 1 talks about bread making in Goa. And as discussed earlier, we get to know that this art of making bread got into Goan culture right from the Portuguese days. And that's how the Goans developed their love towards bread. And bread making is indeed an art and it needed a certain level of perfection. Why is it an art and why it needs a certain level of perfection? Because it includes 3 major steps in its making. First, mixing, molding and baking in a tested furnace. The second part tells us about the author's childhood days and how he got deeply affected and attached to the baker. Baker used to be their friend, companion and guide. Baker used to visit twice a day, once early in the morning while on his way to sell off his stuffs and second while returning back after selling off all the things that he had got to sell off. The jingling thud of bamboo woke them up and they ran to meet and greet him. So the kids were quite fascinated and delighted to meet and greet the baker. Why? Because they were quite fond of the bread loaves and the sweet stuffs that he used to carry with himself. So, in order to sell off his stuffs, he used to carry a bamboo stick along with himself. So, whenever the baker used to see his customers, he used to place his stand on the ground. And that's how that stand used to produce jingling sound that made the kids to run towards him. And the kids were very much fond of bread bangles. That happens to be a special sort of a bread that has sweetness in it. The third part of the lesson tells us that how the bakers used to deliver the bread loaves. First of all, they used to call out the ladies and further used to greet them with courtesy. Children would be far more anxious and delighted to get a sneak in to the stuffs that the baker had brought in. So they used to gather all around the baker and it was a difficult scenario altogether to clear off the gathering. So the children were pushed aside and the loaves would be just delivered to the maid servants. Apart from that, we also get to know the importance and significance of bread in traditional ceremonies. In the lesson, we get to know that there is a special sort of stuff made of bread loaves that is known as bowl. And it is a must to have bowl in marriage ceremonies happening in Goan culture and society. Apart from bowl, they were also fond of preparing sandwiches. At the time, when their daughters used to get engaged. And the third one is Vollenhans, that they used to prepare for Christmas celebrations. So, in exam, it is very important for you to remember the special sort of bread stuffs that the people of Goa used to prepare for different occasions. They used to prepare bowl to serve in marriage. They prepared sandwiches at the time when their daughter got engaged, and Vollenhans for Christmas celebrations. The next part tells us about that how the bakers used to dress themselves, and also that fact that how it was indeed a profitable profession at that time. So bakers used to dress in kabai. Kabai is a long frock that used to run till knee length. They used to dress in kabai or shirt and prefer to wear 3/4 length short trousers. So even today in Goan society, the people wearing 3/4 length trousers are referred as a pedder. Pedder means a baker. Now we will talk about the fact that how it was a profitable business. It was a profitable business because bakers used to collect bills at the end of month. So they were not dependent upon daily earnings. They used to deliver the stuffs and collected the bills only at the end of the month. They were also very literate. We get to know from the fact that the accounts were written on some wall in the premises with a pencil. And it was a profitable profession because Portuguese were lovers of fresh baked loaves. So the people living into that society, almost everyone got that craze for loaves and the bread stuffs. And it was a part of their daily essentials. Baker's family looked prosperous and happy. So all these things tells us about the Goan culture, society, the life and the livelihood of the bakers in Goa, and how they have a greater significance into that society, and how they still continue to hold an important place even in the present century in which we are living in. In the next class, we will continue with our regular classes. Till then, thank you.